right, Mr. Telepharo TV, how's everybody doing out there? This is very interesting for the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay, so as we all know, I told you guys previous day that the Memphis Grizzlies, they're considering trading Mike Conley or Marc Gasol. They have been actively shopping their veteran leaders, Mike and Marc, behind the scenes. They don't really want it in the public like that because of the respect they have for these two guys. Marc can be a free agent if he decides to opt out this summer. You don't want to diminish guys' trade value, and when guys get in trade talks, you're diminishing their value. You don't want to do that, right? Especially with the respect and the love you have for these guys. They've given the Grizzlies so much. I felt like they've been more loyal to Memphis than what Memphis has deserved, to be honest. Not the city, not the fans, but that ownership group, right? I still feel like they should have gave the Grizzlies, when they had Zebo, a perimeter shooter. They lost Rudy Gay and never addressed that shooting that they needed, right? So, reportedly, the Memphis Grizzlies have been negotiating with teams behind the scenes. And one thing that they have been trying to negotiate is Chandler Parsons' contract. I believe he's got like a year or so left on it, about $38 million. Listen, you're not going to play Chandler Parsons. He's healthy right now, according to him. I don't even know what that means. But he believes he can play right now. The Grizzlies don't want to play him. They're trying to trade him at the deadline if they can. They gave him all this money. At the bare minimum, they want something in return for him. His trade value is absolutely garbage. Most of the teams around the league look at him as washed goods. He's let Memphis down. Every time they tried to give him an opportunity, he got hurt. He can't play big minutes. His body just pretty much quit on him. So the best thing that the Memphis Grizzlies can do so he doesn't get hurt again is not play him. So they're like, yo, we're not going to play you so you can go get hurt in the next couple weeks, and no team wants you at the deadline. So they're not playing him in attempts to trade him before the trade deadline, which is about a couple weeks out. Here's what the Grizzlies are doing to teams that want Mike or Marc. They're saying, sure, we'll give you Mike Conley or Marc Gasol, whichever one you want. But attached to that is you got to take the contract of Chandler Parsons. You got to take that 1 year, $30-odd million that's left on his season and a half left. Got to be willing to take his contract. Now, I believe Memphis is even looking at it like, yo, we'll even take a lesser pick. Meaning if they're just trading Marc Gasol straight up, I believe they should demand it from a team that has one of the 5 to 8 worst records in the league. Mike Conley, I believe it should be maybe a team that has one of the 12 to 14 worst records in the league, a lottery pick, right? Right. So I believe if it's one of, those should be the circumstances for either of those guys. But if it's Chandler Parsons attached to Mike or Marc, if I'm the Grizzlies, I'd be willing to take a player or two, a decent veteran with a low contract and a first round pick of any sorts, right? I'll be willing to take a pick outside of the top 14 if I can get rid of Chandler Parsons' contract. That's the most important thing right now. You want to lose games. You want to build around Jaren Jackson. So if you could get rid of Chandler Parsons' contract, it might be worth giving up Mike or Marc, right? Especially Mike. I think I'll give up Mike Conley if I can kind of back out of this terrible decision I made to give Chandler Parsons all this money. So I'm just throwing it out there. That is something that's being negotiated and talked around behind the scenes right now. The Grizzlies would be willing to lower their expectations on the trade if they could get rid of a bad contract. It looks like a bad player, everything. It just was a bad fit. And Chandler Parsons, so far, no team has been willing to even seriously consider taking on Chandler Parsons' contract. So the Grizzlies and Chandler Parsons might just have to agree to a buyout. We will see, though. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Telepharo.
Mr. Telepharo.
Mr. Telepharo.
Mr. Telepharo.
Shout out to Mr. Telepharo.
You're watching Mr. Telepharo TV.
Mr. Telepharo TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.